Hey viewers, welcome to the Renewalism Show. This is a great day. If you're online at this point in time, you're part of history of renewalism on the planet. Today, the book has been launched. Until yesterday, those of you who were with us yesterday, I wasn't sure whether Amazon is going to pull it all together, but they did. We've got a global launch today, and you can actually pick up your copy of the book by just typing Renewal Sandeep or Renewal Planet, because renewal is such a general word, on any of the Amazon websites. Meanwhile, we've also set up a website, and this is the one. You're most welcome to hop over to renewalism.com and pick up a copy. Well, so what is renewalism? For those of you who are joining in late, renewalism is a discussion, a series of conversations that we are having on this show about a concept which I'm going to show you across the runner below. A concept that we believe, that is, I believe, and people who read the advanced copies of this book believe, is capable of moving the planet into a different state of human consciousness. We have discovered how consciousness has changed with a few habits that were forced upon us through these days of the COVID crisis. And the air has got better, the planet's improved, relationships have improved, a lot of people have started getting more mindful about various things. But what if that could be done by design? What if we had a set of habits that we knew worked for renewing ourselves on a day-to-day basis, for renewing our relationships with the planet, with money, with other people, with everything? And it could also renew systems which we've sort of built and trapped ourselves in. Offices, for instance, were a system of that sort, which a lot of futurists are now saying would cease to exist. Cities would not be as important as they are. And in fact, what's going to happen in the new normal is a subject that we want to discuss on the show today. So I've got an incredible guest with me today. His name is Ben Foster. He's based out of the UK, and he's an expert across the Western world on how things work. He's an out-of-the-box marketer. He's a creative explorer, as he likes to call himself. So let's see what Ben has to say about the new normal and about stuff that's happening as a consequence of the start of renewalism. Right, so let me bring on Ben. I suspect there is an outage in the UK and we've just lost him. So Ben would be back, but meanwhile, let me give you more background. While Ben joins the show, I want to talk to you about what led to renewal, the book. This book came about from a channeling. So it's not just an ordinary set of thoughts and some habits that I think are very fancy. It's happened because I happened to be the medium way back in November, December 2019, when nothing was known about the coronavirus. And this channeling happened through a certain Guru Pranachandra, who does not exist, is a form of energy. Because I am an inner power coach, I sort of connected with that energy and I just wrote. And when I started editing in Jan and Feb, I discovered that a lot of the stuff that we've written here is stuff that's changing the planet already. So you play a very important role in changing the planet. And we've got Ben back, so I'm going to bring him on the stream. And we're going to talk about...
Hello.
There you are.
Hello, Sandeep. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. I actually, for a moment, I was wondering what you're going to do, but so nice to have you. Thanks for making time here.
It's great to be here. I think
who are congratulating us on the book release, and it's a remarkable day today. Thank you so much, guests. Thank you so much for your your following of this show. We're into the 4th day of the show, and we're going to continue the show all through this month. Same time, same page. Today's topic is about how renewalism and the whole concept of renewal is going to be relevant in how normalcy is going to look like 2-3 months from now. And as I said, Ben is deeply entrenched in the business world of UK and Europe and US. And I believe he has some fantastic thoughts to share. Please put in your comments and questions so that we can address them together. Over to you, Ben. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think your very flattering introduction might have taken me off the internet for a second. It blew me away, so thank you for that. But yeah, it's a great day, obviously, with the launch of your book, and I really appreciate you sending that through to me. I know you told me ahead of this, try not to talk too much about the book, but it's hard not to talk about it because it is definitely a moving story written through a very charismatic character. I have a very vivid picture of this guru who's teaching me all of these lessons as I'm reading through. So I just wanted to take the time to say thank you for that.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect time almost in our world. You started talking about it, that what will the world be like, let's say, post-lockdown? And I think it definitely will be a world that is changed, and not only in the business world, but also in a sense of people's consciousness, their mindset, how connected they are to the planet and the people around them, and I guess to their inner feelings, which you explored quite a lot in the book, right?
Right, Ben. So you are one of the few people on the planet who actually read most of an advanced copy that I was able to share with you. Thanks so much for that. How do you think the whole subject of, creating habits by design, creating the world by design, how do you think that's going to be accepted by people in general? We generally tend to fall in line when we're forced to, especially systemic stuff like schooling, stuff like telecommuting. We don't, as we've seen in the last couple of months, we've been forced into it, but we don't really think proactively on driving those changes. How do you think that could be happening in the coming months?
Well, I think with this time, people may have had more of an opportunity to reflect back on what it is that is their daily life, their daily routines, the habits that shape and form everything that they do on a day-to-day basis. I think, having this time to kind of stop what you're doing, put a lot of stuff down and on pause, it allows you to really reflect on, are my habits the most effective and beneficial habits, not only for work reasons, but for my health? Having
Yeah.
a global health pandemic definitely puts health into light. And, I think we're on day 4, so perhaps I should link it to chapter 4, right, where you're talking about a bit about habits actually and their power. I myself, I am very grateful for the habits that I've been able to instill in my life, because without the kind of discipline of having, you mentioned having focused time and having what kind of aligns to the Pomodoro technique of, having truly focused time followed by a break where you focus on one thing. Because you mentioned creativity in my very nice welcome message that you said, but as a creative person, my mind does tend to run left, right, center, up, down, and out the back door sometimes. So having discipline in that definitely does help. And I think bringing it back to how this might change in the world, I think people reflect now on where they are most productive and the habits that truly do serve them as, as a human being. For example, in health, since lockdown, I've employed a much better health habit physically through working out and exercising, but also through changing my diet and really focusing on that again. It really has been almost an awakening time for me in lockdown, and being able to really reconnect with myself and re-look at my whole time frame of, okay, I don't have to commute into an office now, so what will I use that 1 hour of journey time to really add value to my life? And I think that's what a lot of people will be doing now when they're thinking of, okay, going back to work. They're going to also be taking into consideration what might be the things that add to them, and what might be the things that they're just going to leave behind in that old world.
Fantastic, fantastic. We have Minu here. I've put up a comment on the screen. She says sustainability is what I mostly hear of at the business level. So it's certainly a revolutionary thought. Well, thank you, Minu. Thank you for that. Glad that you agree. Fantastic. So, Ben, coming to, you said a couple of very significant points about using that extra time and
Right.
that self-realization that you had that health is going to be challenged and therefore a priority, and you made it into one, which naturally with the self-renewal habits would be something that you would be on a guided path towards. But let's talk about relationships. Do you see, people, I find divergent views. And as we approach normalcy again, we want to see how it converges. One view is that when everybody is in the house, it's more stressful because everybody is in their cubicles at home, so to say, and you know that they're there, but still they're not. Whereas when they were going to office and school, then they were definitely not there. So if we are to say that when normalcy comes back, if schools go online, and if we do have families together all day long, do you think that we would need to work on certain factors that bring that stress into non-stress, so to say, by the way the family thinks? And do you think you've come across anything in this book that would help do something like that?
Well, I can only personally speak from my own experiences, right? Of course, I can read a lot of things and it can open my mind to things, but speaking from my own experiences, I've really valued this time to be able to spend it with my wife and spend that quality time. Of course, there are, like with anything, there are moments of adjustment that need to be made, right? And I think when you've got kids who are especially energetic and running around, which I don't, so I'm not in that same situation, but that trying to school them, keep them entertained whilst also staying inside is going to be very difficult. But I think anything is a learning process, and difficulty always results in benefit, right? There's always a sense of struggle before you reach the plateau, and then you can cruise downhill. So I think, of course, it's going to be difficult at the start, but it will enable, parents, teachers, families to find the ways that they can really be living together, but adapting to that lifestyle. So I think in reality, anyone could really adapt, and it may be highlighting areas that need improvement in people's relationships or anything like that. But I think it's also a time that we can work on those improvement points, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think taking off from what you said, I feel compelled to share one with the viewers that, when relationships, the way Ben has put it, he's been able to strengthen his relationship. And he also pointed out that when there is adversity, you are able to perform better. Now, there is a methodology which Guru Pranachandra talks about, which is called PACE awareness. And that's an acronym, PACE. That kind of awareness, when applied within families and done with an objective of getting into awareness of our state vis-a-vis the state in which the other person is. And the other person could be your spouse, it could be your kids, could be your parents, could even be your clients, vendors, whoever else. But when that kind of awareness comes in as a habit, you tend to operate from the greater good of both parties. So how cool is that? That this is a habit that you are able to bring into your life simply because you've got practice ground right there at home.
Yeah,
Normally one would be so stressed coming back from work and all that one would not want to spend time getting into that awareness. But now you can get into that awareness because you're there and you're interacting out of that awareness, making that a new normal, for instance.
yeah, exactly. And then carrying that awareness back into your normal world where, if you do have a high stress environment at work, learning to really separate that from what is the valuable family time. Whereas before, maybe it does overlap into one and you carry, and I'm definitely a sinner in this point, carrying the work stress and pressures back into home and then keeping that negativity inside. Whereas now it's all merged into one. So you truly have to be conscious about separating and leaving that there and then focusing on, the good things and the love and family as a whole.
Absolutely, absolutely awesome. And moments of adjustments, gentle understanding is what Kenna says. Now, what you said was exactly the point we're trying to make here. That when you have the playing field, when you have the opportunity at home to create those habits of awareness, they will help you live that life of balance. And I think work-life balance will become part of normalcy. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to go, have a coaching program for work-life balance, something that I do these days. In fact, I had been doing, that's one of the programs that I offer
Yeah.
on stress management and work-life balance. But if you just adopt the habit of pace awareness, as you said, Ben, you would naturally know where to draw the lines, and uh, when to work and when to be
Yeah.
with family. That's so awesome. So it's really great, Ben. We're coming to the close of this schedule that we normally have, 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd
Could
like to say on this
yeah.
launch?
Um, I actually, obviously, the launch is big news. Before we get onto that, I just want to ask a quick question on, I think, Minu's question that she asked to you, Sandeep, on what you feel if, sustainability was a big moving force in the corporate world coming up to this. Do you think there's going to be a new shift to consciousness in the corporate world after COVID?
I believe so. I believe that, and in fact, I said this at one of the talks that I was giving about a month ago, that CEOs are getting to realize the importance of people uh, in a different sort of way. And the kind of money that we have been allocating to marketing is a lot of that is going to move into money that goes into employees and employee health, employee benefits, and keeping the employees happy. Because to quote Richard Branson, if you can keep your employees
Yeah,
happy,
sure.
they keep your customers happy, and that keeps your business going. So employee happiness has been grossly underrated till now, and knowing that we as a company can reorient operating processes to save on commutes and all those sort of expenses, we would find that there is more money available for people development and making work life better. So that is a major shift in corporate consciousness, to my mind, because actually what's consciousness? It's all about how we look at the people aspect. People are the ones who are conscious in any organization, and I think that's one of the uh, benefits, you could say, of having been forced into this crisis. There are many benefits. People have got to understand the value of relationships. They've got to understand the value of uh, good hygiene, a lot of things that Guru Pranachandra writes. I really urge people to read the book and see how simple habits of that sort, once they are integrated with your life, and it's not difficult to integrate habits with life. He's told you methodologies of doing that. You would tend to not worry about the next attack. You know, that's also something you
Yeah.
mentioned. We don't know whether the corona was man-made or not, but it's surely been a dress rehearsal for our preparedness of such
Definitely.
things.
Yeah.
And these habits are going to help us overcome that sort of stuff. So, any last words on that, Ben?
Yeah, so last words from me. Go to Amazon right now and get Renewal because it's a powerful book and well done, Sandeep. Congratulations and thank you for the wise words. I look forward to actually buying a copy of the book for a lot of my friends and sending it through to them. Hopefully, we can prepare ourselves for, a long, happier, healthier life.
Awesome, awesome. I really look forward to that as well. And for those of you who'd just like to hop on to renewalism.com, you've got the book right there. So, see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Take care.